Good evening and welcome to the Community Spotlight. I'm Cheryl Girl and we are going to have so much fun this evening. I've got two very special guests here. I have CAROLYN and Jerry Caldwell. Y'all excited about being here tonight?
Yes, very excited.
Okay. Now you guys are the owners of Caldwell Enterprises. Excuse me, not Enterprise, but Empire. And there's a difference between Enterprises and Empire, right?
Right.
So now tell me what you do and how you guys start. I'm gonna start with you, CAROLYN, because you know ladies go first, and we know more than men, so you just hold out. So tell me what you do, CAROLYN.
Okay, basically at Caldwell Empire, I do the credit repair, the finance side. Basically, what I do is repair credit, counsel, and help rebuild.
Wait a minute, don't go too fast on that. Repair credit, counsel, and rebuild, and I know everybody needs help with that because everybody's got the little credit issues.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we help to rebuild to so clients can buy houses, cars, get low interest rates on loans, whatever their desire is, we help to make that happen. Okay,
and on the other side of it, Jerry, you deal more with the real estate side.
That's correct. We purchase wholesale properties and distressed properties. It could be foreclosures, also people that in probate where their family is trying to get rid of a property. We purchase those. We buy all types of properties.
Okay, let me go back, man. When you say a wholesale property, what is that?
Wholesale just means that it's discounted. It's a discounted property. We don't actually buy retail properties.
Like that means you don't like go in and buy it from a person who lives in the house.
Well, we can. It's just that
because you have to give me like the basic information on buying a home. We got to start at square one and take baby steps with buying the home, getting the credit straight. Okay, but you guys can do both of those things.
That's correct.
So Jerry, how did you get started in real estate? What made you to jump up and do that?
Well, I was on the other side of mortgages. I did that for about 6 years, and I seen the other side of it from people purchasing homes. I seen investors purchasing homes. So they just gave me, I already had a passion for real estate, but just seeing how it works on the other side, then I decided to pursue my goal and go out here and see my future as being an investor. And
as your own boss too.
That's correct.
Because it is the Caldwell Empire that y'all are building.
Yes.
So is it nice to be able to get up when you want to and you don't have to work as hard when you're your own boss, or is it the exact opposite?
Well, it's the exact opposite.
That's what I hear.
Yes.
Because as an investor, you can't be, it's a patient business, but you have to always be at it.
Okay.
You have to always be at it because it's not like working a job where you get paid every week, you know.
Because if you don't go out there and get it.
That's right.
Okay.
You won't get paid, you know, so. And I have a team of people. I have a lot of people that's working with me, and we're building continuously, so. Yeah.
And CAROLYN, with you on the credit side of it, the credit repair services, how did you get started in that? So what's your background to get you to that path?
Well, I have accounting experience of 17 years. I've done accounting.
So you're the numbers lady?
Yes.
All right, so you can keep the money straight.
I never liked the numbers in school, so I didn't know how in the world I got to doing the numbers.
But you must be detail oriented.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like things precise and orderly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So by me having an accounting background and then experiencing some bad credit repair that I had done on my own credit, I gave it a try to see how well it would work if I did my own credit.
And that's the thing. I drive along and I see these signs say, repair your credit, call 1-800 whatever. And then I hear about people doing it and it seems like they put out a lot of money but don't really get anything done. So that's the thing. You know, I want to get this information from you so that me and the listeners, the viewers, can walk away from this and we can do better. Right. So credit repair works, right?
Right, it does work and it is legal.
And how do you know if you've got a good company or not? What are some of the things that you should ask when you decide you're going to work with somebody to repair your credit?
Well, I would ask, first of all, what is your deletion rate, you know?
Deletion rate, what is that?
Deletion rate. How many items are you removing from credit, from the credit file? Are any
so when they pull your credit score up, you're basically talking about the bad things they're going to take off. You can take bad things off?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
we
yes.
need to know that, girl.
Collections.
That's important right there.
Yes, collections, derogatory items. We dispute those items, obsolete items, items that's been on there over 7 years, even identity theft. You have a lot of people
that's
has
very
hidden
big.
identity.
That's
yes.
very, very big. In fact, I saw something on TV where they were saying that fraud is like a major industry now.
Yes, yes. And that's one thing, that's one reason that I decided to repair my own credit, because I was working a job and the job closed down when the economy was going bad. And so they had the Employment Security Commission come over so we could fill out our paperwork so we can get unemployment.
Right.
Well, when I fill out my paperwork, I get a call that somebody else was using my social.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Okay, that's like so doubly bad.
Yes.
Your job is closing down, and now when they're telling you when you're trying to get your unemployment that somebody's already using your social security number.
Yes, in another state.
Oh,
yes.
that's real crazy.
So they asked me, "Are you pulling unemployment from Tennessee?" And I'm like, no.
You would like to sound Tennessee. So what happened then?
Yes. So it was very difficult. I had to go and prove that I was me. I tried to get bank accounts and I couldn't, because the banks no longer take or accept your social security card, because a lot of people are duplicating the numbers. So I had to go to Social Security Administration and get a letter to prove that I was me in order to open up a bank account.
Wow, that is really a lot. So you got into the business mainly because of your own situation.
Yes.
And I thought we were going to just talk about credit repair, but that whole thing of identity theft, is a monster in itself. But it makes me feel better if I was going to call you and ask you to help me with credit, knowing you've been through it.
Yes.
Because do you find sometimes that people are intimidated? Like I don't want to know you to know how bad my credit really is, and they don't want to talk to anybody.
Right.
So how do you handle that when somebody's dealing with that shame issue and money?
I pretty much encourage people because everybody has a past and everybody has misused their credit.
Right.
I was one of those, and so I pretty much encourage them. Pull their credit, talk to them, go over detail, hey, this is what we could do, and then we just go forward from there. Just make them feel comfortable. You have to bring them in.
Yeah, and I think you have a very open spirit, so I'm sure that it's probably pretty easy for you.
Yeah.
And then I love the balance of knowing that one side of the business can help me get my credit right, and then the other side, Jerry, you can help me achieve that American dream. But it seems like it's becoming more and more difficult to get a home, to buy a home with this economy, but is it still possible? Can we make it happen?
It's still possible. There's other ways to buy, not just the traditional route. On the investor side, there's other ways to buy as far as doing a lease purchase. Sometimes you have owners that do owner financing.
Okay.
So there's other ways to buy a property. You just have to seek those out.
So when you say like lease purchase, is that like rent to own?
Correct. They were rented for a year, which would give them a year for CAROLYN to get their credit straight.
Okay.
And then once they get their credit straight, they can go ahead after that year and use those canceled checks and just refinance it into their name.
Oh, see? Now, I didn't know that's exactly how it worked, because I feel kind of sketchy about that too, that rent to own. And then the other thing you said lease.
Owner financing.
Owner financing, well, how does that work?
Owner financing is just, if I was the owner, I would just set it up as if you were just paying me as a mortgage.
So basically, that line of credit or the deal itself is not so much in that person's name as in the owner's name.
It's in the owner he owns the home.
He owns a home.
But you would just pay the mortgage to him.
Okay. And is there ever a point in that type of situation where the person who is renting or buying from them where they can eventually roll that over to where it builds their credit? Is that a crazy question? Like if they're doing it, if the owner is financing it for you and you pay it for a year, how do you translate that into better credit for you so that you can get your own loan and get from under the owner?
Well, in that year's time, they have those canceled checks, and when they refinance it into their name, after she's done the credit, and they got the score to the level they need to purchase, then it will actually go on their credit. that house, and it'll be out of the owner's name.
And it really is doable.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We do it all the time. So we actually have a house now that we got in a lease purchase, no credit, no money down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, and that's the truth right there, because everybody wants, they have that picture of Thanksgiving dinner in their home,
Right.
you know, putting up the Christmas tree, the family gathered around. And I don't think there's just something about walking on floors that belong to you. But it just seems like it's so hard. So we get back to the whole credit issue. Step one, give you a call. And what's the first thing that I would need to bring in to start rebuilding my credit, Carolyn?
I asked for a copy of the current driver's license, Social
So
Security.
you know it's you
Yes.
and not some scandal.
Yes, a copy of the Social Security card, and also a copy of the current utility bill, so that the bureaus can verify their address, because sometimes the address doesn't match on the driver's license.
You know, that's very true. Okay.
So they do accept the utility bill. And if they already have a credit pull, that'll be good, because you could do soft pulls going on like ScoreSense.com.
What does that mean, a soft pull? Does that mean like when I'm on my computer at home and I do something like Credit Karma or something like that? Is that soft, or
Yes,
is that?
it's soft, so it doesn't mess with the score.
So what's the opposite of hard pull? What's that?
A hard pull is if you go to a mortgage company,
Or trying to buy a
apply
car
for
or
a loan,
something like that?
Yes,
Okay.
your score go down a few points.
Because I've heard it's true that when people are looking at your credit, constantly looking at it, that can lower your score.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
pulling for different reasons.
Right.
If it's in the car business, if you're going to different dealerships, you want to kind of keep it just with the dealerships, them pulling, because if you go to different
That's popping up every time.
Right.
And that's the thing. We got to get back to this basic education about your credit and your credit score, and you know what to look at. So if I pull it, I'm looking at it. And I've done this soft pull. I got a new word now, y'all. Soft pull. What are the things that I should be making notes? Like, okay, fix this, fix what?
Yes.
What are the things that?
You need to, first of all, make sure your name is correct.
Okay, verify all your information.
Yes, and your address. Make sure your address and your birth date is correct, because some of that information could be incorrect.
Okay.
And then you need to make sure, look at your accounts and make sure that all of those accounts belong to you. And then whatever accounts you may have a problem with, you say, well, this is not I don't know what this is.
That's where you come in.
Yes. Yes.
And so you contact those companies, or how does that work?
The first process I do is I send it to the bureaus first. I send them a letter to ask them to validate any accounts that I'm sending through.
So basically make sure this is a real account that really belongs to this person.
Yes.
All right.
So I ask the bureaus first, and then they have 30 to 45-day time frame to respond.
Right.
So once we get the results back, they either going to delete it or they're going to say it's verified.
Okay.
If they say that it's verified, I then send a letter to the creditor to ask them to validate, because 9 times out of 10, the original creditor has sold the account to a third party, to a collection agency. And so sometimes those collection agencies, when they buy these accounts, they're not getting all the documentation, the original documentation.
All they got is a number and a goal.
That's it, yes.
Okay,
They
and that's
just
where
want
you
the
come
money.
in. And I think it's cool to have a voice in there, someone as running, defense for you to help you get all this straightened out. But then let's get down to business, because you guys are married. How long y'all been married?
It'll be 12 years in August.
12 years.
Yes.
And so you work together and then you live together. How do you we've got the balance between credit repair and buying a home. How do you keep the balance of love and career in place?
Well, with me, a lot of times I'm in the field, so I'm always out in the field.
So you're not near, so.
Right. I mean, it's I come in and out, so
Okay.
it's not always that we're just together all the time doing the job. But
And so what do you do besides, since you can't just pop out like he does, what do you do personally just to keep the balance there?
Be in the office, on the phone, making calls, doing a lot of
Okay, that's
advertisement.
good at 9 to 5. I want to know what happens at 5:01. And y'all done fussed all day about whoever's credit or whatever, what they didn't do right in the office. How do you turn that off and turn the love volume up?
It's just sessions. Sometimes because of the demand of the business, sometimes we might have moments with each other, but sometimes the demand pulls us, and we still have to continue to work. And being an entrepreneur, you have to get it when you can get it. It's just
You're talking about get the business or get it? Which one? Both, right? I mean, something's happening if y'all together 20 years and smiling and working together.
Yeah.
But mostly like on the weekend, we have, time. It's kind of slow, for us business-wise. So
Yeah, on the weekend.
So now we're building the foundation for repairing our credit and buying a home and building a life and getting that American dream. And one of the things I read in your bio is that you guys want to help people achieve their dreams.
correct.
Yes.
So looking at your relationship and looking at this business, why has that been so important to you?
It's important to me because I really hate to see people struggle, and I have realized and noticed that a lot of people, they're struggling because of the lack of knowledge that they know when it comes to credit, or when it comes to different programs that can really assist them in having what they really desire to have. So I think it's a lack of knowledge, and that really just kind of hurts me when I see people struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
And with me, I've been homeless like 2 or 3 times. So
Are you serious?
my dream is to build shelters, homeless shelters and apartment complexes where if I want to, I can grab people and put them in places.
Wow.
So that's my goal.
So you really are achieving a dream of your own, and besides helping people build theirs. I think that's amazing. How do you go from being homeless to owning an empire? What did you do? Did you go to see a credit repair counselor or what?
Well, it was just over a period of time, of years, just collecting information and learning, going through situations, but at the same time as I'm working these different jobs, I'm learning a lot of information and getting a lot of information from people. So, and then studying a lot of books, seminars, videos, all of that took place, so it was a lot of information over a long period of time.
And that's just the whole thing with money. It's something that you have to study. Because it seems like we think that we know everything, but we really don't. And there's information out there, and there are people like you guys who are willing to help and lead us in the right direction. So let's get back to 12 years. Because that's big. People get divorced like it's nothing these days.
Yes, that's true.
So do you have to do as much studying and working and planning to keep a relationship going as you do a business, or more?
Well,
I swear, man, he looked at you when I asked the question.
Oh.
Yeah.
well, we make sure we stay grounded in the Word of God. So that's what keep us. That's what our marriage's foundation is on the Word of God. So we stay in church, just getting that Word, getting that uplift and encouragement. That's what keeps us going. If we always have any problems, we can always go back to the blueprint.
Back to the blueprint. I like that. So can you go back to the blueprint as far as business goes too?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because the foundation, either way, is the foundation,
That's
whether
right.
it's business or it's love.
That's right.
So as entrepreneurs, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you first started, Carolyn?
I wish I knew that my credit was going to be very important as I got older in life, and I wouldn't have went out and done a lot of things. And bought those shoes, bought
Taking
that
that trip to Cancun,
yes,
pocketbooks.
yes, and not really caring about. Oh well, I'm not going to pay them this week. I don't care. It'll go my credit. It'll be
Because
all right.
the long-term effects are what if you don't have a good credit score?
Yeah, if you don't have a good credit score, you're either not going to be able to get anything, or your interest rate is going to be high, 14, 15%.
Oh my gosh.
And just think about it. If you have a house and you're paying 14, 15%, depending on the amount of the home, you'll be paying a good payment.
That's a whole lot of money when if you pull in the parking lot and you're driving the car and the person pulls up beside you, they're driving the exact same car, and they've got 2%, 3% that they're paying back on it, and you're paying 14, 15%.
Yes.
Right.
That makes a huge, huge difference. So it's important to get your credit straightened out.
Yes, very important. Yes.
So now, going into a 12-year relationship, is it important to get anything straightened out before you step into marriage? And
Oh yes. Most
Yes.
What you got to get straight?
Definitely.
What's the equivalent of your credit report when you go into marriage?
I think, well, you need to have yourself straightened out first before you bring in somebody.
Including your credit.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because won't money break up a relationship?
It will, yes.
And it's your mind got to be right. It's even with business, your mind has to be in the right place. If your mind if you don't have the right mindset, you can't be in a relationship or business.
Wow.
That's
You know,
right.
that's a key point.
So what I'm getting is, it sounds like you're feeding your mind and your spirit positive things, going back to the blueprint, back to the word for that foundation.
Yes. Because no matter how it looks, because some days you may not get a call, but we can't go by what we see, but we have to go by what the word tells us.
So are you talking about business when you don't get a call? You talking about relationship when you don't get a call? Is it the same thing?
It's the same thing, same concept.
I didn't know. I learned something.
There's a lot of millionaires who failed over and over and over again until they actually became millionaires. People don't know that side. They just see once they're rich, you know. But you go through, it's a mind thing. You have to stay focused.
So, you know, we talked about going to the word, but what are you, as far as studying and getting your mind right for business, what are some basic things? Because I think it's intimidating. I mean, I worked in banking, but I still feel intimidated by, oh my God, this mortgage and what are these numbers, the percentage of compound interest? What? If I need something simple to get me started, to learn about business, if I think that maybe one day I do want to own my own company, just like with the credit, where do I start?
Well, I would say you would want to find an entrepreneur doing what you would like to do.
Okay.
You would want to find one or two or more and just kind of mirror them and kind of get information from here and there. On YouTube, there's a lot of people doing what you probably desire to do.
You know what? YouTube has a lot of people doing a lot of things. You can find out anything on YouTube these days.
Yes.
That's a lot of free information. And you just want to mirror people and kind of duplicate what they do. And if it worked for them, you can do the same process.
Right.
I do believe, and you guys are definitely the success story. So let me ask you this. An entrepreneur, as opposed to being, what would you call that, maybe a salaried worker, paid worker, somebody working for someone else, that's a big jump, a big leap of faith.
That's a big
Yes,
leap
it
of faith.
is.
So now, were you guys pushed, or did you jump into becoming entrepreneurs?
Well, me, I was laid off.
That's a push.
From doing mortgages. And once I was laid off, it took me about 2 months. And then I figured, I said, well, hey, I'm just going to go out here and do my passion. And that's real estate. And it took a lot of patience because you're not going to see what you're looking for real quick.
Right.
You know, how you have to just stay fast and just keep believing that it's going to come, it's going to happen. So that's the thing, you have to be faithful. A lot of people start stuff, stop, start stuff, stop. You're not going to get anywhere doing that. You have to stay on your course and stick with it.
That makes a lot of sense. So as far as discipline, you know, do you have any words of advice for how a person can stay disciplined, not only in business and becoming an entrepreneur, but also staying the course and being disciplined as far as relationships go? Because y'all show me great balance here.
You want to answer that one?
You have.
See, that's that balance right there. Like, baby, you go ahead.
Well, to stay the course with your relationship, you just basically have to, whatever your foundation is, you have to continue to stick to that, because that's what's going to keep you going. But if you get off of that, then you're going to, you know, waver. You want to stick with that. Our foundation is the Word, so we can always go to the Word and say, hey, here's our answer right here. This is what we need to study and look at, and God, you know, can talk with us through His Word. So.
And that's, I get the amen corner here.
Yes, because if you call your friend on the phone, you know, your friend, she may tell you something else. Oh, you need to leave him.
Right.
You know, he ain't there, you know, and you don't want that type of stuff going into your ears. So you want to basically... You
want to surround yourself with like-minded people. Yes.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, not just in the business part, but being around couples who are on the same flow that you're on. Who want to be together and be happy.
And in a relationship, it's good too if you find married couples that's been married for 30, 40, 50 years,
Those are the ones to hang out with.
they have a lot of wisdom,
Surround,
to
yes.
share.
So what's the best advice that you ever got as far as marriage and relationships from someone older?
It's basically just to be humble and unselfish. You know, if you're very unselfish in a relationship, it'll work. You know, it's because you're not looking at yourself all the time. You're looking at, you know, the other person, and you're trying to, you know, make things work all the time. You don't have your own motives.
Well, what about you,
You have to
Carolyn?
die to yourself and compromise.
Compromise.
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's a big one. It takes some prayer to get to compromise sometimes.
Yes, yes, and be submissive.
Really? I mean,
Yes.
when as a woman, and you're an entrepreneur and a business owner, but you're still submissive as a wife.
Well, and a lot of women, they kind of don't understand submissive. Submissive means to support.
To support. See, thank you. That's a much better
Yes.
interpretation of it. I don't feel quite as prickly when you say that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's to support and serve. But when you serve, you're willing. The other person's willing to serve. When you go to a restaurant and they're giving you the best service, what do? You give a tip.
Yeah.
A nice tip.
Okay.
So
So you tipping good at the house?
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to see that you keep the fun in the relationship.
Yes.
Now, you guys have family?
Yes.
yes.
And the reason I ask because it is Caldwell Empire.
Right.
Yes.
So that implies to me that you're building a kingdom.
Yes.
You're building something powerful. So do you guys have kids?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now you're raising them to be little bankers and, you know, entrepreneurs. What are you doing to get your kids involved to continue this empire?
Well, they really grown people, I call them. 'Cause we have a 21-year-old.
Oh, that's grown.
Yeah,
23.
Girl, you don't have no 21-year-old. You look 20.
Yeah. Thank you.
And a 23.
23.
Really?
Yeah.
And
17
and 16.
Okay, that's great.
So I inherited 2 children.
Wonderful.
When we
Yeah,
married.
yeah, we
yes.
blended. So.
So we're a blended family.
Yeah, we put a lot in them as entrepreneurs. They're learning, you know, at that age that they're at, they're trying to make their own decisions of what they want to do. But through it all, we still get them the principles that we learn. And, you know, even if they sway away from it, they'll come back and say, oh, they said this, they taught me this.
So none of them are actually working with you yet?
Not yet.
Y'all got a plan, though.
Yeah, we have a plan. We have a plan in place. My oldest son, he's right now experiencing entrepreneurship. He does a lot of MLMs. So
What's that? You got to talk basic to me, MLM.
Multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing, okay.
Yeah, so he's learning the sales aspect of it right now, and he don't know that it's going to
help all of y'all. Okay. So now, what direction are you going to send the other two?
Well, my daughter, she's in hair school.
Okay.
So she should be done in a few months.
That's
so,
wonderful.
Yeah, so she'll be going into a salon after
she does hair too.
Yeah,
Oh, you do hair too?
Yes.
Well, that's incredible.
So I have always been an entrepreneur myself.
Well, you know, something about that spirit that we want to continue to put out there in the community. I want to say thank you, Carolyn.
Yes.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Caldwell Empire.
Yes.
And if we want to know more about you, can we follow you on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, under your names?
Caldwell Empire,
Empire.
LLC.
Caldwell Empire.
Yes.
Well, thank you for being on the Community Spotlight. Please come back again. I'm Cheryl Girl. Make sure you come back next week.